على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا وحبيبنا مولانا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى آله وأصحابه وبارك وسلم. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا، اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وزدنا علما، يا مقلب القلوب ثبت قلوبنا على دينك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Can I confirm that you can all hear me fine?
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته مولانا.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته مولانا.
Okay, so Bismillah. I pray all of you are well, inshallah ta'ala. We will start firstly with our going over our assignment, and then we will go to Surah Al-Fatiha, inshallah. So Bismillah. So your assignment 3 was on the second half of Ayatul Kursi. So Bismillah, we'll start with يَعْلَمُ مَا بَيْنَ أَيْدِيهِمْ وَمَا خَلْفَهُم, which was quite a tricky one. So the first question was, indicate where the fa'il and maf'ul bihi is for ya'lamu. So where is the fa'il and the maf'ul bihi for ya'lamu? Who is doing the action and who is it being done to?
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I'm going to try Maulana.
Bismillah, Bismillah.
So in terms of the fa'il, I looked at ya'lamu, he knows, and it's obviously huwa, which is inside. So
Okay, perfect. So first of all, the fa'il is good. So the first of all, the fa'il is there's no fa'il at the end of the verb. There's nothing to the left of the verb. So the fa'il is the huwa inside. Perfect. And the maf'ul bihi?
And the maf'ul bihi, I said it was ma. Whatever.
Okay,
Yeah, I think that's it. Maulana, that's the first question.
okay. Perfect. So if you ask a question, ya'lamu, what does Allah know? The answer is Allah knows ma bayna aydihim wa ma khalfahum. So that ma there is the whatever. Allah knows whatever is bayna aydihim wa ma khalfahum, and whatever is behind them. So the ma there is definitely the maf'ulun bihi. So something we learn about the word ma, the ma is an ism. Well, some ma's are isms, some ma's are not. But this ma is an ism. But this ma is a ma that it can't change. In other words, in raf'un is ma, in nasbun is ma, and in jarrun is ma. It doesn't change. It's a fixed ism. So this ma is definitely an ism, and it is the maf'ulun bihi. Good. Next one, the field question. Does baina aydihim, sorry, it's the wrong sequence here, but baina aydihim, does it refer to the future or the past? So before you answer that question, what does baina mean, and what does ad mean, and what does him mean?
Maulana,
Yes?
baina means between,
Mm-hmm.
and AD is hands, so their hands.
Okay, so good. So baina means between, and aydihim means their hands. So between their hands, that's the literal meaning of those two words. So when Allah says ya'lamu, He knows ma, that which is baina, between their two hands, wa ma khalfahum, and what is behind them. What does that verse mean? What does it refer to? Does it refer to time or place or past or future? What does it refer to? Anybody?
So Maulana, would it?
Like
I'm just trying my luck here, but would it be instead of the past and the future, would it be something that is continuous, like to say that Allah knows everything?
Okay, but so my question is, which one is past and which one is future? If he's talking past and future.
Aydihim sounds like future. I don't know the way that it looks. I don't know.
Okay, so that's one thought that adim could refer to the future. Any other opinions?
Maybe referring to the hands that's in front of you. So almost like referring to what still lays before you. Your hands is what is in front of you, your two hands. So almost that in a way, having a saying in Arabic that what is between your hands, you don't know yet. That's your future.
Okay,
Don't know.
okay, good. Anybody else? Anything else you read or you came up with?
Salam alaikum.
Something like that too.
It's not my stuff. I did up on this. I did up that before them can be the next life. So also future, but not future for this world, future for the next world. And I think another translation, I'm not too sure. I think this translation said that it can be what is apparent to us and what is not apparent to us, what we know and what we do not know.
So Baina adim is what we know, and khalfahum is what we don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I want to take a second quickly and just look at how people translate it, and then that also helps us give us a clue of what people understand by it. So the first one here, but Dr. Mustafa Khattab, I don't know who all the individuals are, but here it says he knows what is ahead of them, Baina aydihim, and what is behind them. So Baina aydihim, ahead of them and behind them. And then this one here, Faisal Suleiman says what is before them and what is behind them. Okay. The next one. Where's the next one here? What happens to them in this world and what happens to them in the year after. There's actually a very generally like this type of translation is not really it's not good. I think generally I like to separate the words of the Quran with regard to the tafsir of the Quran. So in this one here, there's almost like tafsir and translation mixed into one. So not always like my first preference that it's done like that because it's not exactly accurate. Because there's nothing about in this world in the verse, and nor is there something about year after in the verse. But anyway, let's get on. Next one. What is in front of them, literally between their hands, and what is behind them. Okay, good. And what else do we have here? What lies before them and what is hidden from them. Okay. And then what appears before or after or behind them. What is presently before them and what will be after them. What is before them and what is behind them. What is in front of them, which is behind them. Before them and behind them. So most of them have a similar meaning. And then if you go to just like one tafsir, for example, if you go to generally in English, Ma'ariful Quran is a good tafsir to refer to. Ma'ariful Quran, it will say here that let me just go to the right verse. It says here, the sixth sentence, يَعْلَمُ مَا بَيْنَ أَيْدِيهِمْ وَمَا خَلْفَهُم. He knows what is before them, what is behind them. It means that Allah Almighty is aware of all states and events surrounding them. So this is the first type of answer. If you imagine someone is standing, whatever is in front of you, it's like that's what you can see, and whatever is behind you, what you can't see. And Allah knows everything in front of you and behind you. In other words, Allah's knowledge encompasses you. So this tafsir here is more like a spatial tafsir. Allah knows like everything in your space before you and behind you. And then we get more to like a duration type tafsir. Like before here means all the events before birth and all the events after birth. So before and behind here refers to time. So the point I want to make is Baina Aidihim can lend itself to both space and lend itself both to time as well. So in other words, here in the second tafsir, the second interpretation here, it could be events before their birth and events after their birth. The third tafsir here, it's possible that before can Baina Aidim means like stuff which is like in front of your eyes, and Khalf is something which is behind, which is unseen. So here it can refer to the seen events that are open to men, and after Khalfahum can refer to states that are hidden. So it's like three different tafsirs. The one was in terms of space, Allah knows everything in front and behind, all encompassing. Second was in terms of time, Allah knows what is coming before birth and after birth, after death. Third one was in terms of hidden versus manifest. Allah knows what is manifest to people and what is hidden from people. So there's a number of different tafsirs that you could take with regard to it, and all of them would be acceptable. So if I ask you the question, does Baina Aidihim refer to the future or the past? In terms of most of the translations and the tafsir here, it would appear to let me just see one other thing quickly. I just want to say what they said for Ibn Kathir, which is also interesting to read as well. Tafsir not Ibn Kathir. Okay, I can't find out. No. So to answer the question here with regard to Aidihim, most of them would refer. You see what happens? The difficulty with Aidihim is it possible for Aidihim to refer to your past and Khalf to refer to your future? Is that possible?
Molna, we have this problem in our group because it's translated as before, and before can either mean in front of you, or it can also mean in your past, behind you. So it looks like it has a dual meaning.
And Khalf also, when you say something is Khalf, which means it is behind, does it mean that is in the past or it's still coming? If you know what I mean.
We also had that issue. We settled for future.
For future. So I think both of the possibilities basically exist. Both of the possibilities exist. Because in the sense, what is between your hands could literally means that which is in front of you. That which is in front of you, in other words, that which is still coming, and Khalf can mean literally that which is behind you, that which has passed already. So in that sense, then Baina Aidim can refer to the future, and Khalf can refer to the past. But Baina Aidim can also have the opposite meaning. In other words, Baina Aidim can mean that which is in between your hands, that which you have already experienced, and Khalf is that which is still to come, like it's still behind, it's still upcoming. So both of those are going to be possible, or it could be a spatial meaning with regard to Allah encompasses all things. And this is the nature of tafsir, is that none of those, all of those basically are complementary. The idea that Allah knows everything in terms of time, in terms of space, in terms of hidden, in terms of seen, the ayah would lend itself to all different understandings of that concept. So Allah knows best, and there are differences with regard to how this is understood. Okay, next one. 225 F. ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء. What are the root letters for يحيطون? Anybody? What are the root letters for يحيطون?
Assalamu alaikum, Maulana. It's Mariam. The root letters are Kha, Waw, and Ta.
How did you work that out?
I looked it up.
Good. Where did you look it up? So, no, that's good.
Well, I've got an app on my phone, so it actually
Okay.
tells what root letters are.
Which app? Which app did you have? Your phone says iPad. So is it from the
It's Al Quran. It's Al Quran.
Al Quran? Okay, good. So there are a number of apps. So basically, it's sometimes difficult to work out. The point I want to make is that if you don't know it, it's fine. You must look it up. That's a good thing. So if you're looking for the root letters, Quran Hive is also a good one. Quran Hive, this one here is also a good one. If you basically scroll over every word, can you see there? If I scroll there on the left, it says Ha, Wow, Ta. So it actually gives me the root letters. Ha, Wow, Ta. And there are a number of apps that actually do that. So if you're looking for because if I look up a word, you have to know the root letters. And your hituna might be difficult for you to work out Ha, Ya, Ta, Ha, Wow, Ta, what's going on there. So you look it up there, and if you go to information, it'll give you a longer dictionary entry. So good. So the point I want to make is that it's good for you to look it up, and I'm happy that you did. So the answer there is Ha, Wow, Ta. Next one. Where is the fa'il for yuhituna and for sha'a?
The fa'il is the owner, which is they,
Okay, good.
and I think sha'a is he will, so he is the fa'il.
Good. The he, and who does it refer to?
What does he refer to? He's a-
Hmm.
oh,
The he refers to Allah. Good. So la yuhituna wa and la not yuhituna. Yuhituna means to encompass. And who is not encompassing? The wow there, this unaya. This is the fa'il referring to they, and they do not encompass bishay'in with anything min ilmihi of his knowledge, illa except bima with that which sha'a he has willed. So the sha'a, the fa'il is the huwa inside referring to him, Allah. Good. Who's next? What are the grammar labels for the underlined words? What are the grammar labels for the underlined words? Anybody?
Go again, Maulana.
Bismillah. Tawfiq.
So they underline the tuna, so that's a fa'il.
Good.
Bishay'in. I didn't do bishay'in. Let me just do the rest first. I said,
I think let's do bishayin. It's two words, is be and shayin.
so
What is
then
be
it's
remind?
a harmful jar and ismul
Good. And
majrur.
shayin is majrur. Perfect.
Okay, and then min is also harmful jar, and then
Good.
ilmi is ismul majrur,
Good.
and then he is mudaf ilay, so ilmi is also mudaf.
Okay. Good. So any pronoun attached to an ism is mudafun ilay. Any pronoun like he attached to an ism is mudafun ilay. Therefore, it's mudafun ilay. Perfect. Bima.
And then B is also harmful jar, and ma is ismul majrur.
Okay, good. Perfect. And in the previous section of the verse, we mentioned that ma in raf'un it's ma, in nasbun it's ma, and jarrun is ma. So in the previous verse, the ma was maf'ulun bihi nasb. Ya'lamu ma. He knows whatever is. Here the ma is jar, but again you can't see that because the ma is always ma.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Number 225 F. Was it G now? G. وسع كرسي السماوات والأرض. وسع encompasses. كرسيه. His kursi encompasses as-samawat, the heavens, wal ard, and the earth. So the first thing is, what are the grammar labels for the underlined words?
Okay, Maulana, kursiyu is the fa'il.
Good. And the ha at the end of kursi?
That is mudaf ilayh.
Good.
It's
So
the
it's his,
damir,
his
attached
kursi. Good.
damir.
Yes.
And
As-samawat.
as-samawati is maf'ulun bihi.
Good. Perfect. Okay. As-samawati is maqbool bi, and remember as-samawati is a sound female plural, therefore it can't take an ah. It
Yes,
can't take
Maulana.
an ah. Good. Um, there was a question from Hafidah asking in the previous one, وَلَا يُحِيطُونَ بِشَيْءٍ مِنْ عِلْمِهِ. Is it also maf'ulun bi? So the bi will be harful jar, and the shay'in will be ism majrur, but those two together will almost like occupy the place of a maf'ulun bihi. But the b is a harful jar and the shay'in is ismul majrur. Next one, look up the word kursi. What does it mean in modern standard Arabic? Hans Weir. So let's do it together. If you look up the word kursi, then what do we get? We get the word kursi can mean a chair, a throne, a seat, base, pedestal, and there's many different combinations that they have here in terms of kursi. Now, in terms of tafsir, what did you find? Oops, sorry now. In terms of tafsir, what did you find? So it says here, look up the meaning of the word kursi in the various tafsir at quranhype.com. What do you think the most suitable translation is? So what did you find?
In Ibn Kathir, it refers to as a footstool.
Okay.
Oops. Oh, what happened?
I found kingdom.
You
And in
found kingdom. Good.
Yusuf Ali, authority, throne.
Okay. So we have 4 different meanings now. We have footstool, we have kingdom, we have authority, and we have throne.
I have dominion more than also.
Sorry, you had?
Dominion.
Dominion, 5th word. Okay. What else?
Seat as well, Maulana.
Seat, 6 words. So we have, okay, good.
And knowledge.
Yeah.
Knowledge, okay, good. What else do we have? I mean, it's interesting, like, how do we normally translate Ayatul Kursi?
Throne.
We say normally say the verse of the
Throne.
throne. So what's the meaning of Arsh? Arsh in Arabic means what? Arsh means throne. So what's interesting is when you have a word in Arabic, kursi, and often words linked to Allah Ta'ala are difficult to define because they deal with something which is like when Allah speaks about as-samawati wal arda, is much easier because we can see the heavens, we can see the earth, we have a more concrete understanding of that. When it refers to Allah's kursi, it is something which is unseen to us. It is something which is beyond this worldly domain, and so it's difficult for us to translate it. So a number of tafsirs exist that you found. You found the word footstool, you found the word throne, you found the word seat, you found the word dominion, you found the word authority, you found the word knowledge. So those are all going to be different tafsirs or different interpretations. Let's go through the translations. I think it's also interesting to read the translations as well and to see what comes up there. Just for interest sake. It says here, where's Wasiya Kursi Sama? His seat. Number one, it says his seat. The next one says his knowledge has embraced. The next one says his kursi. Easy way out. The next one says his chair. The next one says his dominion. The next one says his throne. The next one says his kursi. Okay. And obviously I all have footnotes, so the footnotes will come up. And they say chair or footstool, not to be confused with arsh. Different tafsirs about it. Kursi, chair, his throne, his throne. So some say chair, some say throne, some say footstool, some say knowledge, some say many different things. Let me go to the tafsir.
Maulana,
Bismillah. Yes?
I don't think you're sharing your screen anymore.
I'm not sharing my screen.
Yeah, we can't see anything.
Oh, for a while now, just now.
2 minutes, or yeah, 1 minute.
Can you see it now?
Yes, one. Yes.
Okay. So all I was doing, I was just reading through the translations here to see what is happening with kursi. Okay, so let's go to Quran Have again, and let's go to some tafsirs. Let's go to Ibn Kathir. Ibn Kathir is considered to be mostly a riwayah-based tafsir. Inshallah, in the later years, we study tafsir and categories of tafsir and how tafsir actually works. But Ibn Tafsir is considered to be a riwayah-based tafsir. In other words, it's a transmission-based tafsir. Transmission of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, transmission of Sahaba, Tabi'in. That's going to be what Ibn Kathir is mostly about. Let me see, where is this? Okay, so Ibn Kathir has some interesting things. He says, number 8, Wasiya kursiyu samawati wal ard. His kursi extends over the heavens and the earth. Waqi narrated in his tafsir that Ibn Abbas said, kursi is the footstool, and no one is able to give due consideration to Allah's throne. There's various riwayahs from Ibn Abbas on this with regard to it. Then there's a nice riwayah here. It says that if the 7 heavens and the 7 earths were flattened and laid side by side, they would add up to the size of a ring in the desert compared to the kursi. That's the one tafsir that Ibn Kathir gives. Let me see. I'll just check what Ma'arif gives, and then we'll conclude with that. Yeah. Ma'arif al-Quran is going to give you some degree of riwayah, but Ma'arif al-Quran is going to give you also scholarly opinion with regard to the verse. So Ma'arif al-Quran says, Wasiya kursiyu samawati wal ard. His kursi extends to the heavens and to the earth. It means that his kursi, translated as chair or base of power, is so magnified that its spatial infinity houses within itself the 7 heavens and the earth. Allah is beyond sitting and standing and all spatial location and placement. The important statement is that when we think of Allah, we don't ever think of Allah Ta'ala as a material being that stands and moves and is beyond being a material being. Such verses should not be taken up on the analogy of our own states and affairs. However, there are authentic narrations in the hadith that simply tell us that the arsh and the kursi are heavenly bodies many times larger than the heavens and the earth. Okay, it doesn't give you much there. So, to summarize, these verses are very difficult to translate because they refer to something of Allah Ta'ala. For example, Allah speaks about Yadullah. What does Yad mean of Allah Ta'ala? Yad no means hand in our language. What does it mean in terms of Allah? So these verses are difficult to translate. So some translations will keep the word as literal as possible. In other words, an arsh is like a throne, like a big chair basically, and a kursi could be considered to be a stool, like a banki almost, like a stool, And often, if you have a king, because the king's a normal king now, worldly king, because the king's throne is very raised, he often has like a footrest. And that footrest is often called the kursi. The footrest is often called the kursi. So some tafsirs will keep it very, very literal. Like they'll say that his chair or his footstool or his stool extends beyond the heavens and the earth. That's like a very literal translation. So that's good in terms of understanding what the word means. The only difficulty that some mufassirun have is that when you start using like the idea of a chair and a footstool for Allah, it brings to the imagination almost like Allah is a being who's sitting on something. And that's obviously what we don't believe. Allah is beyond space and beyond time. And Allah is not even close to that. So then some tafsir will go with a more metaphorical translation. Why? Because when someone takes the kursi, when someone takes the kursi in terms of a worldly king, when their kursi is almost like their dominion or their power and knowledge sometimes. So then they'll go with a more metaphorical translation. That kursi means dominion, power, knowledge. And that's a metaphorical translation, which is further away from the literal words, but in keeping with the linguistic usage of that expression. Something similar is that when someone says to you in English, can you give me a hand? They don't literally mean that you must chop off your hand and give it to them. They mean, can you help me? So sometimes literal, like if you say hit the road, it doesn't mean necessarily you're going to hit the road, it means you're going to travel. So in language, there are expressions where the intention is metaphorical, and there are expressions where the intention is literal. So some scholars will keep it very literal, and some will say, no, this actually has a metaphorical meaning. And there's a long Aqidah discussion about it, but I don't want to get into it. I just want to make you aware that those differences exist. And there is even an opinion that the kursi and the arsh refers to the same thing. There is that opinion as well that exists within the classical mufassirun. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's one of Ibn Abbas's opinions, but I may be wrong, that the kursi and the arsh is actually the same thing, that opinion also exists. So the most suitable translation depends if you're going to take a more literal translation, you're going to say stool or chair, or you're going to go with a more metaphorical translation, which means dominion or power or authority. And either of those have their pros and cons, and those are the result of different approaches to these types of ayat. And we can discuss more. We'll be back in class again, inshallah, because it's quite a intricate discussion with regard to it. Compare translation to Quran.com, and that was, we compared that now. Any other questions on that before I carry on? Are you all good? So there isn't like one correct answer for that. It depends on what approach you are taking. Probably the safest approach is just to keep the word kursi in Arabic and just leave it as that. That would be the safest approach, but it wouldn't generate a lot of understanding because you're still leaving the word as it is. Allah knows best. Next one, verse 255. وَلَا يَؤُودُهُ حِفْظُهُمَا وَهُوَ الْعَلِيُّ الْعَظِيمُ. وَلَا يَؤُودُ. Ya'udu means like to tire out, and does not tire out or make him weary. What doesn't make him weary? حِفْظُهُمَا. The preservation of those two things. What two things? The heavens and the earth. وَهُوَ الْعَلِيُّ الْعَظِيمُ. And he is Ali, the Most High, and he is Al-Azim, the greatest. So Al-Ali and Al-Azim. What are the grammar labels for the underlined words? Bismillah. If you haven't gone into Bismillah, have it then.
Assalamu alaikum, Malana.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
I'll give it a shot. I have the Ya'uduhu as the fa'il and the fi'l as well.
Okay, how do you translate Ya'uduhuma? Ya'uduhu. Ya'uduhu.
Is that not tires him?
Okay, good. So tires him. So, okay, carry on first, or we'll come back to it. حفظهما.
I have that as the maf'ulun bihi.
Okay. Which
I
hal
think
is the
we have
maf'ul bihi normally in?
Maaf.
Which hal is the maf'ul bihi normally in?
Maf'ulun bihi is okay. I see that it should be in raf.
A maf'ul bihi is normally nasb, right?
Yes.
Yes. And that word hifz there is in which hal?
Is raf.
In raf'un. Good. So let's look at it again. Ya'udu means to tire out. So there's two things. There's that which the thing that is causing the fatigue,
Mhm.
and that which is being fatigued. Like for example, I'll say that running tires Ahmad out.
Mm.
So who is the fa'il there? The fa'il is okay, not running. Let's say something different. The gym tires Ahmad out. Who is the fa'il there?
That would be the jum.
The gym is doing the tie. And who is it being done to?
Is
Who
it
is the
Ahmad?
maf'ul bihi?
Is
Ahmad.
it
So the gym is the cause of the fatigue, and Ahmad is the one being fatigued.
yes?
So
Oh, I
in
see.
this,
The
yes,
preservation here is the fa'il. So hifdhuhum.
good. And where is the maf'ul bihi?
The maf'ulun bihi is uh, hifdhuhum.
So hifdhu ma, that part is the fa'il.
Yes.
So the maf'ul bihi at ya'uduhu.
Ya'uduhu, yes, maaf.
So the ha at the end of ya'uduhu,
It's going to be the who at the end, yes.
good. That's going to be maf'ul bihi. Okay. So because normally we think of the the fa'il as a person, so that's something
Yes.
confused. And we think of something else as the maf'ul bihi. But in this case, the word ya'udu means to tire. Who is doing the tiring? Attached, we don't see anything there. There's no una, there's no ina, there's no na. We do to the left, and that is a raf'un, there's a fa'il. So hifdhuhuma, the preservation of the two of them, la ya'udu, does not tire who? Him. And the ha refers to Allah, and that's a maf'ulun bihi. Okay. Perfect.
The second ones I have the wahua as the mubtada
Good.
and the al-ali wa al-adim is khabar 1 and khabar 2.
Perfect. Huwa is the mubtada, and Al-Ali, give me news about Huwa. He is Al-Ali, he is the most high, and he is Al-Azim, he is the most high. What if someone asked you, why isn't Azim a sifa for Al-Ali?
Because it doesn't match in Jind.
They actually do match in Jinn.
Oh yes, because of the Mawsuf sifa. No, but
So I'm saying your answer is right. It's Khabar 1, Khabar 2. But if someone asks you, why isn't Al-Azim a sifa for Al-Ali? Because they match in Jinn.
okay. I was referring to the wahua. Yes, those two match. But the one is not the one is not a mawsuf.
Okay, good.
So
Meaning?
it's not describing it's not describing the other. It's an addition. I can't give the
Your answer is perfect. Your answer is perfect. So the point I want to make is, just because two words match in Jinn, it doesn't mean they're sifa mawsuf. Like in this case, they match in Jinn, but as you said, Al-Azim is not describing Al-Ali. They're not a description of each other. Al-Ali is giving you news about Huwa, and Al-Azim is giving you news about Huwa. The two of them are not describing each other, or the one's not describing the other. So your answer is perfect. Your answer is perfect. So Huwa, Mubtada, Al-Aliyu, khabar number 1, Al-Azimu, khabar number 2. Okay, perfect. Good. How many sentences are there in Ayatul Kursi?
Sorry, Maulana, can I just go back again to hifdhuhuma?
Perfect, yes.
The grammar
Yes.
labels for hifdhuhuma.
Okay, so Ya'udu is is a verb. Ya'udu is
Yes,
a verb. And the ha there is a maf'ulun bihi.
that's right.
The ha is a maf'ulun bihi. The hifdhu is the fa'il.
Right.
The hifdhu and the huma will be mudafun ilayh.
Okay, I've got that. Okay,
Okay,
shukran wala.
good. Good. How many sentences are there in Ayatul Kursi?
Lana, I counted 9.
You counted 9. Any other takers?
Another lady on the group chat said 10 in the Kathir, but so I don't know. In the tafsir, I mean, she said 10, but I still counted 9.
Okay. Let's count. I didn't count before, but let's count inshallah. And also sometimes there's sentences in sentences, but I'm not going to go the sentence in the sentence. That's going to be like a lot, if you know what I mean. There's 10 sections to. Okay, let me actually just do it like this rather. I gave you a link on there. Let's open the link quickly. Let's open the link, and then
Lana, the link also gives you the answer.
the link gives you the answer. Okay, so that helps. This is the. Okay, let's go back here quickly. So when I say sentences, what I mean by that is, okay, where is this thing? Oh, I think the page is gone now. That's weird.
When you click it, Molana, it's only taking that first line. That's all.
Oh, okay. So it means this one.
I'll copy it, I think.
No, it's gone, eh? Can it be gone so quickly? No, man. I think one of you guys did something to the page, man. Okay. I don't see the link on working on my side. Anyway, let's just go through yeah. Let's go through the normal page. So here it goes. Allahu la ilaha illa huwa al-hayyul qayyum. So this here is one jumlatul ismiyah. So one. لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم. Second one, جملة فعلية. له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض. Third one, جملة الإسمية. من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه. من ذا الذي يشفع إلا بإذنه. It's actually a جملة الإسمية. It is the fourth جملة. يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم. جملة الفعلية. Fifth جملة. ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء. Sixth one, فعلية. وسع كرسي السماوات والأرض. Seventh one, فعلية. ولا يؤوض حفظهما وهو العلي العظيم. This is one phrase, so this can be the ninth jumla, but this contains two jumlas. So those who got 10, I understand why you got 10, because this could be 9 and 10, but these two almost like form one set, because ولا يؤوض حفظهما is a jumla. جملة الفعلية فاعل مفعول به وهو العلي العظيم is a جملة مبتدا خبر. So in other words, there are 10 jumlas actually here. So those of you who got 9, I don't know if you missed something, or did you consider this to be one jumla?
Mulana, can you just recount, because I counted the last two as separate jumlas and I still got 9.
Okay, so الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم 1. لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم 2. له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض 3. من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه 4. يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم 5. ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء 6. وسع كرسي السماوات والأرض 7. ولا يؤود حفظهما 8. 9. Sorry, I can't wrong. So there are, if you count these two separately, which we should count separately, there are 9 in total. Okay, we're all happy. There are 9 in total. I don't know if you managed to open that link. Did you manage to open that link?
It's still alive, Molana, on my side.
It's still alive on your side. I can't find it.
You must copy the whole link, Malana, that link
I
on
did copy
your
didn't isn't the whole link
assignment.
there?
Not the, yeah, you.
Try the
That's
chat
our
button.
link,
I
right?
sent it. Yeah.
Oh, there we go. I don't know something wrong. Anyway, so what is interesting about this was that okay, they don't have the Arabic section here, but they have it in English. Where's Ayatul Kursi now? Where is this now? Surah
Further down.
Baqarah. It's further down. Yeah. So they basically have all 9 verses 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then they link the sections together. In other words, the first section speaks about Allah's Allahu la ilaha illa huwa al-hayyul qayyum, and then the next section gives you more sifas, wa huwa aliyul azim. It gives you like sifas on Allah on top and sifas on Allah at the bottom. At the top here it says Allahu la ilaha illa huwa al-hayyul qayyum la ta'khudhuhu sinatu wa la nawm, does not overtake him drowsiness or sleep. The second last ayah there says wa la ya'uduhu hifdhuhuma, and therefore it both refers to Allah's preserving it, but there's no sleep or drowsiness overtaking him. And then the third verse here, lahu ma fi samawati wa ma fil ard, and then here wasi'a kursiyu samawati wal ard, both refers to his authority and his power extending to the heavens and the earth. And then this fourth one, man dhal ladhi yashfa'u indahu illa bi'idhnih, and then Allah says here, so who is going to intercede except by his permission? And وَلَا يُحِيطُونَ بِشَيْءٍ مِّنْ عِلْمِهِ إِلَّا بِمَا شَاءَ, that no one can encompass his knowledge except which his wills. So it speaks of Allah's permission here. And then in the middle here is يَعْلَمُ مَا بَيْنَ أَيْدِيهِمْ وَمَا خَلْفَهُم. So if you link this two, it actually makes like a ring. So this is called ring composition, which is a fairly common in the Quran as a structure. So in this sense here, the ring composition is applied to one verse, but the ring composition can be applied to an entire surah as well, as they have in this article here. Surah Baqarah is also a ring composition. So it's a good way to look at the ayah. So that is your worksheet. I hope you're having fun doing the worksheet. Any other questions on the worksheet, or you all good?
Maulana, do you give the same assignment to second years as well?
I give to the whole school.
Oh, because I felt when we did on Thursday, I was a bit intimidated. They go a bit too fast for us, I think.
Yeah, so what we're going to do, inshallah, is that because we had Maulid on Wednesday, we didn't have a lot of days. But what we can do is we're going to have a separate day for first years and separate day for the other second, third years. So first is you'll have your own day. First of all, did you? I don't know how many of you took part in the online session.
Assalamualaikum, Maulana. Actually, it was enlightening to listen to the third years because it gave us a view of what we could do if we were just to persevere. So I actually enjoyed the input.
Yes, it was inspirational.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. But I think I don't want you guys to become passengers in that one. So I'd prefer you to be the active participants. So what I was thinking was that I should put the first years into a separate group. I don't know how many of you will attend actually. But I'll put you in a separate group on a separate day. So example, you'll go Tuesday evening, and the other years will go on Wednesday. I'll send the invite to both classes. So if you want to join both, you can join both as well. It's up to you. But do you think it's beneficial to have the online study group? We
Sister
unfortunately
Nura-
Definitely.
Yeah, Sister Nuran was very beneficial. It was nice to pick her brain. Yes, sometimes the terminologies that she used made us. I had to just let her backtrack quickly, just slowly talk what because because when she said she's seventh year, I don't
yes.
know.
Yeah, so some people have been a long time at Mizan, alhamdulillah. Um, so I think I'm gonna try it on your own first. So let's do a session on your own. I would encourage all of you to join the session. Unfortunately, our WhatsApp has been down for the last week, so we couldn't WhatsApp you the invite. But inshallah, we'll WhatsApp it to you this week. So what we'll do is we'll make it on Tuesday. We'll make the first year session. So on Tuesday, 8:30 to 9:30 will be your online session, which you gather together as a group. We'll make one of you admin, and you will discuss the next assignment together. I think it helps for you to structure your time and to just basically allocate time for this work. And then Wednesday we'll do the second years up, second to seventh year up for them to do it as well. But you have the same worksheet for now. You have the same worksheet for now. And then I put worksheet number 4 on the shared drive for you to do. Okay, so I think we'll keep that. I think the study groups are good. The online groups are good. Bismillah. So worksheet, the other worksheet was, let me just put it on here as well. Let me put it on here as well for you.